My daughter said I was too poor to be a good dad. She regretted it when she met her real mom. I'd been up since 5 a.m. making Lily's favorite French toast when she stormed downstairs, slamming her phone on the counter I'd just cleaned. "You're literally the worst dad in Beverly Hills High," she announced, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "Do you know what Mia just posted? Her mom gave her $2,000 for a random Tuesday shopping trip, on top of her $400 weekly allowance." I kept flipping the French toast, the same breakfast I'd made every Tuesday for 3 years because she mentioned once it reminded her of better times. Here's the thing about being a single dad who had his daughter at 19. You're always trying to make up for something. The mother who left, the grandparents who said you'd ruined your life. I'd been accepted to Northwestern Pre-Med when I found out my girlfriend was pregnant. My parents kicked me out. Lily's mother vanished. I chose teaching for the hours, turned down promotions to stay classroom-based, drove a 15-year-old Toyota so she could have dance classes and the right clothes. "Are you even listening?" Lily grabbed the spatula from my hand. "Chloe's mom is taking her to Paris for spring break. Mia's going to Cabo. And me? I'll be here. Again. Because my dad is a teacher who can't even afford cable. Mia told everyone her mom offered to bring me to Cabo as the charity case. The poor kid. That's what I am because of you." Her voice cracked with rage. "You chose this. You chose to be poor. Those moms love their daughters enough to provide. You just gave up." Something inside me shifted. "Fine," I said quietly, setting down the French toast. "You want what Mia has? You'll get exactly what Mia has." She ran upstairs, FaceTiming her friends about her upcoming glow-up and how she'd finally fixed her cheap dad. Monday I was gone before her alarm. I left $400 on the counter. "Oh my gosh, Dad. I knew you'd pull through." 2 weeks in, the first real crisis. I was teaching evening class when my phone lit up. "Dad, please come home. Jake broke up with me." 2 months ago, I would have left immediately. But Mia's mom didn't leave her law firm when Mia's boyfriend cheated. I transferred $200. Treat yourself. This is what Mia's mom did last month. Week 3 brought parent-teacher conferences. I'd circled the date in red on our calendar every year since kindergarten. This year, I scheduled tutoring clients instead. Lily's counselor texted, "Mr. Williams, we needed you here. Her college essays are concerning." That evening, I found her essay draft on the table. The prompt was, "Describe a challenge you've overcome." She wrote about feeling like no one was there when she needed it most. I left $400 on top of it and went to bed. The real breaking point was her sweet 16. Friday, she texted, "Can you at least come to my birthday dinner tomorrow? 7 p.m. at Nobu." "Nope, I'm working. But there's $250 in my dresser for your party." Mia's mom missed her sweet 16 dinner too. She left me on scene. On the night of her birthday, I came home at 10 p.m. to find her in her party dress on the tile floor downstairs. Mascara everywhere. No one came to my birthday. The waiter sang to an empty table. I sat down on the cold tile next to her because proving a point was never the goal. She looked at me with swollen eyes and whispered, "I called Mom." I froze. She unlocked her phone and held it out. A message thread weeks long. The contact name said Mom with a little heart emoji. I scrolled to the first message. The date was the same week she told me I was too poor to be a good dad. While she was screaming at me that morning, she'd already gone looking for someone else. I found her online. She has a profile. I just sent her a message and said, "Hi, I think you're my mom." Kayla had responded the same day. "Oh my God, baby girl, I've been waiting for this moment for so long." 10 messages in, the line that made my hands go tight around the phone. "Your dad kept me away, sweetie. I tried so many times to see you, but he wouldn't let me." I never kept Kayla from anything. She left on her own when Lily was 3 months old, left a note on the counter that said, "I can't do this," and walked out. And now 16 years later, she was telling our daughter I was the reason she'd been gone. "She said she was coming to my birthday," Lily whispered, voice breaking. "That's why I picked Nobu. She said she had a dress picked out." I sat there for an hour and a half waiting for her. Mia and Chloe bailed 20 minutes in once they realized nobody famous was coming. But I didn't care. She was supposed to walk through the door any minute. Lily hadn't been waiting for her friends. She'd been waiting for her mother. And Kayla did what Kayla always does. She disappeared. I pulled her toward me and she stiffened up and pushed against my chest. "Don't. I'm fine." She wasn't fine. She pushed me away one more time, weaker this time, and then she just broke. She fell into me and grabbed the front of my shirt and cried harder than I'd ever heard her cry. Not the dramatic tears she used when she didn't get her way. Real ones. "Why doesn't she want me?" Lily asked between sobs, her face pressed against my shoulder. "What's wrong with me that she doesn't want me?" I held her tighter and stared at the ceiling because I was afraid if I looked at her, I'd lose it too. I've asked that question myself 1,000 times over 16 years. There's no answer that makes a kid feel better about being left, so I just held her. Then her phone buzzed. "Kayla, sorry baby, something came up. Come stay with me for spring break. I have a place now." Hope came right back into her eyes. The lesson wasn't over. I wanted to grab the phone and block Kayla's number right there, but I knew exactly what that would do. It would make me the controlling dad, the one who kept her away, just like Kayla said. So I stood up and put the kettle on and made her chamomile tea the way she used to like it when she was little, with honey and a little lemon. While the water boiled, I opened the fridge and pulled out the birthday cake I'd bought 3 days ago, the one I thought we'd eat together before everything fell apart. I stuck 16 candles in it, lit them all, and carried it over. Almost midnight. Lily was still on the floor, staring at nothing. "Come here." She got up slowly and sat at the table, and I sang happy birthday, just me, my voice cracking on the high note like it always does. She didn't smile. She just stared at the candles, closed her eyes, made a wish, and blew them out in one breath. I cut her a piece and set it in front of her. She picked at it with her fork but didn't eat. The whole time, I could see her phone glowing on the counter. Kayla's text still open, still waiting. I couldn't block Kayla. It would make me the villain Kayla had already painted me as. So I did something harder. The next morning, I called Dorothea, Lily's counselor. Her grades have dropped in every class. She had a 3.8 last semester. She's barely holding a 2.5. Her essays are cry for help material. She wrote this last week. "I don't think anyone in my life has ever chosen to stay." I gripped the phone. My daughter, who I'd chosen every single day for 16 years, wrote that nobody had ever chosen to stay. "Lily told me she believes her mom is going to rescue her," Dorothea said. "I've seen this pattern. The absent parent almost never shows up the way the child has imagined. You need to get ahead of it." this. That night, I called Enzo, my oldest friend, the one who showed up with diapers and formula at 3 in the morning when I was 19. I showed him the thread. His jaw tightened. This is the same Kayla, word for word. Remember when Lily was 5? Kayla showed up crying, said she'd changed, asked for $2,000 to get settled. You sent it. She vanished for 11 years. She wants something. She always wants something. After Enzo left, I called Alain. He's a retired principal now, but back when I was 20 years old with a baby on my hip and no degree, he was the one who pulled me into the teaching program at the community college. He saw me working the night shift at a gas station with Lily's car seat behind the counter and handed me his card and said, "You're too smart to be here. Come see me Monday." He helped me get my first teaching job. He wrote my recommendation letters. After Benton kicked me out, Alain was the closest thing I had to a father. I told him everything. The messages, the plane ticket, Lily packing her bags to visit a woman who couldn't name her grade. He listened without interrupting, then said, "You can't compete with a fantasy, son. Kayla is a blank page right now. Lily gets to imagine whatever she wants on it. The perfect mother, the perfect house, the perfect life she thinks she's been missing. But you're the real thing. Real things are flawed and frustrating. You burn the French toast sometimes. You're standing right there every day, and that means she can see every crack on you. Kayla doesn't have any cracks because Lily's never been close enough to see them." Then he said the thing that stopped me cold. "You need to tell her the truth. The real truth, not the version you've been giving her all these years." After Alan hung up, I did something I hadn't done in 11 years. I texted Kayla directly. "This is Lily's dad. We need to talk before you make promises to our daughter." She responded in under 3 minutes. "Hey, I promise I've changed. I have a nice apartment, a steady boyfriend. I just want to be part of Lily's life. Don't you think she deserves to know her mother? Like I was the gatekeeper." I asked one simple question. "What grade is Lily in?" 1 minute, 5, 10. The typing indicator appeared and disappeared 4 times. At 40 minutes, Kayla finally responded. "Sophomore, right? Lily is a junior." Her own mother didn't know what grade she was in. 40 minutes to answer a question any parent should know in their sleep, and she still got it wrong. I screenshotted everything. I wasn't going to tell Lily what to think. Anything I said, she'd filter through Kayla's version where I was the bad guy. I needed proof Lily couldn't argue with. Monday, I drove to school and met Dorothea in person. She spread out a stack of folders. Assignments incomplete, essays with red ink, grades sliding month by month, 3 abandoned college essay drafts, all circling back to the same thing. Feeling alone, feeling like nobody stayed. She said Lily could recover most of her grades if she turned in missing work over 3 weeks. She wrote me a list. This is what she needs. Not money, not stuff. This. I walked out to the parking lot, and that's when I saw her. Leslie, Mia's mom, parked in a black SUV near the pickup lane. Phone pressed to her ear, talking fast and loud about some case. Through the passenger window, I could see Mia standing on the curb with her backpack, waiting. Leslie didn't wave, didn't look up, didn't roll down the window. Mia just stood there for a minute, then opened the door herself and climbed in, and Leslie kept talking into the phone the whole time without even glancing at her daughter. The SUV pulled away, and I stood there thinking about all the times Lily told me Leslie was the kind of mom she wished she had. That woman didn't even look at her kid. That afternoon, I cooked. Not because it was Tuesday, because I wanted to. Lily came downstairs and stopped at the bottom of the stairs, looking at the table like she'd walked into the wrong house. "What's this about? I messed up these last few weeks. I gave you money when you needed me. That's done. Sit down, eat." She sat. She ate the whole plate without saying thank you, but she didn't leave either. She paused at the bottom of the staircase and looked back at me for half a second before going up. That was enough. The next day blew it apart. Lily burst through the front door smiling, the kind of lit up smile I hadn't seen in months. "Dad, she booked me a plane ticket. It's already paid for." I took the phone. "Flight confirmation. One way." I noticed that right away. "Where does she live exactly?" "I don't know the exact address. She said she'd send it closer to the date." "What does she do for work?" "She didn't really say." "Has she ever called you on the phone?" Lily went quiet. "She prefers texting." "Lily, I'm not comfortable with you flying somewhere to stay with someone you've never spoken to on the phone. That's not me being difficult. That's basic safety." The light in her face went out. "You're doing it again. Controlling everything. Mom was right about you." Her door slammed so hard the picture frames shook. I called Enzo. "I need to find out where Kayla actually lives. The real thing." 2 days later, Enzo called back. Kayla didn't have a nice apartment. She didn't have a steady boyfriend. 3 different addresses in 2 years, all short-term rentals. Wednesday, Lily was packing. I came home from work and heard her upstairs, and when I walked past her room, her door was open and I could see her suitcase on the bed, half full. New clothes with tags still on, the kind of outfits you'd pick out if you were trying to impress someone you wanted to like you. She was smiling to herself, the kind of private smile people get when they're looking forward to something so much it fills up every corner of their brain. At dinner, she told me everyone at school was jealous. Mia couldn't believe it. Chloe asked if she could come too someday. They've never been jealous of me before. For once, I'm the one with plans. I sat there and felt something crack in my chest. This wasn't just about Kayla. This was about Lily finally feeling like she had something the other girls wanted. Taking this away from her wouldn't just mean exposing Kayla. It would mean taking away the first time she'd ever felt like she had something worth bragging about. Thursday, she came home holding her phone to her chest like it was something precious. Her eyes were wet before she got through the door. A photo of a bedroom, pink walls, fairy lights, stuffed animals arranged on the pillows. "She made me a room. She said she's been decorating it for weeks. She said she's been thinking about me the whole time. She wants me there, Dad. She really wants me." Something about that photo didn't sit right. It was too perfect, too staged. That night, I pulled it up on my laptop and ran a reverse image search. 10 seconds. The photo came up on a home decor account. Over 1,000 likes. Kayla didn't make Lily a room. She found a stranger's photo on the internet and sent it to our daughter and said, "I made this for you." I sat there staring at the screen and felt the walls closing in. I had the proof. The photo was fake. The room didn't exist. But if I showed this to Lily, she wouldn't see a liar caught in the act. She'd see her dad sitting up at night searching the internet for ways to ruin the first good thing she thought she had. Every piece of evidence I gathered made me look more like the villain Kayla had painted me as. The more truth I found, the worse I looked. Spring break was 6 days away. Friday, I called the one person I'd sworn I'd never call again, my mother. There was a long silence on the line before she spoke, and I could hear her breathing like she was choosing her words very carefully. "I wondered when you'd call," Elise said said finally, and her voice sounded older than I remembered. I told her everything. The messages, the plane ticket, Lily packing her bags. Elise got very quiet, and then she said something that made me grip the phone tighter. Kayla called us too, last month. Asked your father for $3,000 for an apartment deposit. He said no. Kayla had reached out to my parents before she ever reached out to Lily. She wasn't looking for her daughter. She was looking for money. When Benton said no, she moved to the next option, our daughter. I know we don't have the right to say this, Elise said, and her voice cracked, but don't let that woman near Lily. We made a terrible mistake with you 16 years ago. Your father and I, we were scared and stupid, and we lost our son and our granddaughter because of it. We've had to live with that for 16 years. But Kayla, she doesn't care who she hurts. She didn't care then, and she doesn't care now. I didn't forgive them. I couldn't, not yet. But before I could say anything, Elise spoke again. If you need someone to tell Lily what Kayla was really like, I was there. I saw it. I saw her leave. I'll tell Lily the truth if you need me to. I thanked her and hung up. Saturday morning, I sat at the table waiting for her to come downstairs. We need to talk. No phone, just you and me. Lily hesitated, then set her phone on the counter and sat across from me. She looked guarded, like she was bracing for a fight. I wasn't going to give her one. I was just going to give her the truth, the version I'd been protecting her from for 16 years. When she was old enough to ask about her mom, I'd told her Kayla was very young and wasn't ready to be a mother and made the hard decision to leave. Clean. Almost kind. Like Kayla had weighed her options. That wasn't what happened. I told her everything, not the clean version I'd been giving her for 16 years, the real one. The night I came home from class and found her alone in her crib, screaming, with Kayla gone. I told her about the neighbor who'd called me in the middle of class because she could hear a baby screaming through the wall and it had been going on for 2 hours straight. I told her how I ran 2 red lights getting home, found the front door unlocked, the diaper unchanged, the bottle empty and cold on the floor next to the crib. The note that said, I can't do this. Calling Benton and Elise and being told to put her up for adoption, getting kicked out 2 days later when I drove to their house and found the locks changed, dropping out of Northwestern, 2 years of teaching certification with her car seat next to my desk. Lily listened, arms crossed at first. When I finished, she said, maybe she was just scared. You're right, people make mistakes when they're scared. Then I slid the printed screenshots across the table. The fake bedroom photo with the reverse image search results showing it came from a home decor account. The sophomore message. Elise's note about Kayla asking for money. I'm not telling you what to do. You're 16. You're smart. Look at this and tell me what you see. Lily stared at the papers for a long time. She picked up the bedroom photo, then the search results. Her jaw tightened. She read sophomore twice. Then she picked up her phone from the counter and tapped the screen. Ringing. Once, twice, 5 times. Voicemail. She called again. Voicemail. She started typing. Mom, can you call me? I just want to hear your voice. She set the phone face up on the table. We both stared at it. 5 minutes, 10, 20, an hour. No typing bubbles. Nothing. At some point, the sun went down and the room got dark around us, and I realized neither of us had turned on the lights. We'd just been sitting there in the fading daylight like 2 people waiting in a hospital room for news that wasn't coming. I didn't say, I told you so. I didn't say, see. I just sat across from her, present the way I'd always been. At 9, she finally moved. She turned the phone face down on the table and pressed her palm flat against it like she was closing a book she'd finished reading. The bedroom was fake? I nodded. She still hasn't answered. Her voice was so empty it scared me more than any scream she'd ever thrown at me. Part of her always knew. Part of her had known the day Kayla responded the same day with baby girl and heart emojis, because what mother who really wanted to come back would have waited 16 years to try? She stood and walked to the front door. For a second, I thought she was leaving. She stopped at her suitcase, the one packed and zipped by the door for 3 days. She bent down and unzipped it and started pulling things out, one by one. The new sweater, jeans with tags still on, a makeup bag with all the products she thought would make her look like the kind of daughter a mother would want to keep. Then she reached into the side pocket and pulled out a card. It was a birthday card, but it wasn't for Lily. It was from Lily to Kayla. The front said, to Mom, in her handwriting with a little drawing of a heart. Inside, I've been waiting my whole life to meet you. Happy birthday to me because the best gift would be having you here. Love, your daughter Lily. Lily folded the card and set it on the counter. I wrote that the night of my birthday, after no one came to dinner, after the waiter sang to an empty table. I thought at least she'd actually show up. She turned to face me and the dam broke. You made me French toast every Tuesday, every single Tuesday for 3 years because I said one time that it reminded me of better times. You drove that awful car so I could have dance classes. You were at every single parent-teacher conference for 11 years. 11 years. And I told you your best was pathetic. I stood right there and told you you chose to be poor. You didn't choose to be poor. She dropped her hands and looked at me with tears streaming down her face. You chose me. You chose me every single time and I treated you like that was nothing. I wrapped my arms around her and held her the way I held her the night I found her alone in that apartment at 3 months old. That same desperate bone-deep hold that says I'm here and I'm not leaving. Lily grabbed fistfuls of my shirt and pressed her face against my chest and sobbed. Not the dramatic crying she used to do when she didn't get her way. Not the angry tears from 6 weeks ago. These were the real ones. The ones that come from somewhere so deep you didn't even know they were there. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. I would make every single choice again. Every one. The car, the job, dropping out of Northwestern. Because every choice gave me you. She pulled back. Even the French toast? Especially the French toast. Later that night, she fell asleep on the couch. I picked up her phone. One new text from Kayla. Hey baby, sorry I missed your calls. Things are crazy. Can you ask your dad if he can send a little money to help me get your room ready? She didn't ask why Lily called. She didn't apologize for missing the birthday or for the fake bedroom photo. She asked for money. That's what this was always about? I blocked the number, pulled the blanket over her shoulders, turned off the light. The suitcase stayed empty by the door.